Hello, let's talk about CCNA 1 summary. Networks affects our daily lives. If we will go back to earlier era where there's no technology, they travel somewhere just to see the person they want to meet. But it takes too much time just traveling to talk to someone else abroad like a family which are working overseas instead of composing a letter to be delivered. With networking, there are voice calls, video calls, and chats that are useful for us to communicate. Another example is when you are researching without network or internet, you are going to the libraries to find a specific book. Then, at, at the book, we find a specific page just to find the info that we wanted to know. But with network or internet, we only just use search engines, type the terms or the words or the phrases that we want to search, and just simply entering, we will have now the results that we wanted to know. And now let's talk network of many sizes. Let's start with a small home or a small office network. In this, you might have 2 to 3 computers, and you might have printers, and it might be connected with wireless access points. Then, medium to large network that is bigger than the small home network. And lastly, the worldwide network, which are the biggest among them all. You also have to know about clients and servers too. Clients is simply requesting information from the server, while the server is the one who provides information for the clients. Then, Cisco iOS. When we say Cisco iOS, we are talking about operating system. PC OS or PC operating system help the user to interact with computer and done by a mouse, keyboard, and monitor. While Cisco iOS allow users to interact with Cisco devices, it enables to run a CLI-based network programs and enter text-based commands and view output in monitor. The typical Cisco iOS access method is the console connection where RJ45 are being used. Navigate iOS. The primary command modes are user exec mode and the privileged exec mode. Then the configuration command modes. The configure terminal command enter the global configuration mode that is accessible from the privileged exec mode. Then I will demonstrate it to you at the later part of this video. Command structure. The general syntax for a command is the command followed by any appropriate keyword and syntaxes. Keyword is a specific parameter defined in the operating system, while argument is not predefined, a value or variable defined by the user. iOS command syntax provide the pattern or format that must be used when entering command. The Cisco iOS command reference ultimate source of information for a particular iOS command. Since we already talked about commands and syntaxes, let's proceed to the hostname. Hostname. What is hostname? A hostname is the device names that help the network administrator to identify the devices. How we configure hostnames? We configure it from global configuration, which is the configure terminal. Hostname should start with a letter, contains no spaces, and with letter or digits. Use only letters, digits, or dashes, be less than 64 characters in length and specify. Limit access to device configuration. Secure privilege exec and user exec access with a password. How do we configure passwords? Use a strong password and do not or avoid reusing passwords. For more security, encrypt password. And make a banner messages for unauthorized access who want to break into a device. Then save configuration. Save the running configuration file is stored in NVRAM that contains all of the commands will be used upon startup or reboot. After the running configuration, file is stored in RAM that reflects the current configuration modifying affects the operation of a Cisco device immediately, and capture configuration to a text file. Ports and addresses. Under this topic, let's discuss what IP address are. We can compare it to the mail addresses of every houses or infrastructure. We will talk about addresses. Of course, addresses are used for locating. Example is mail addresses. When we want to deliver a letter or something to a specific person, we indicate their addresses to know where the letter should go. And it's most likely the same to IP address. Each end devices has a unique IP address, and this type of addresses are used for locating a certain device when sending of packets or pinging one end device to another. There are two types of IP address, IPv4 and IPv6. Let's talk about what IPv4 is. It is called dotted decimal notation represented by 4 decimal numbers between 0 and 255. IPv6 is the most recent version of IP and the replacement for the more common IPv4. Since we are done talking addresses, let's proceed to the ports. Network communication depend on the interfaces and the cables that connect them. Different types of networks media have different features and benefits. Ethernet is the most common local area network or LAN technology. Then, verifying connectivity. End-to-end connectivity test, the ping command can be used to this. Then, with the ping command, we can test the connectivity to another device on the network or a website on the internet. TCP or IP. TCP/IP stands for Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. It's a suite of communication protocols used to interconnect network devices on the internet. TCP/IP can also be used as a communication protocol in a private network. Private network are the internets and extranets. It specifies how data is exchanged over the internet by providing end-to-end communication that identify how it should be broken into packets, addressed, transmitted, routed, and received of the destination. TCP/IP requires little central management, and it is designed to make network reliable with the ability to recover automatically from the failure of any devices on the network. What is the difference between TCP and IP? Those two are the same protocol, but the TCP defines how application can create channel of communication network across the network, while IP defines how to address and route each packet to reach its right destination. Then, let's talk about TCP/IP model. There are 4 layers of this model, which are application, transport, internet, and network access. Application layer. In this, application layer provides application with standardized data exchange. In transport layer, it is responsible for maintaining end-to-end communication across the network. And the internet layer, are also known as network layer, deals with packets and connect independent network to transport the packets across network boundaries. And lastly, the network access or the physical layer consists of protocols that operate only on a link, the network component that interconnects nodes or hosts internet's network. When we say OSI, it is a reference model or conceptual framework for understanding relationships. OSI or Open System Interconnection is a reference model for how applications communicate over Internet. OSI model. The layer 1 is the physical layer, 2. Data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, and the presentation layer, and lastly the application layer. Application layer is the one the users interact with. The presentation layer represents the area that is independent and data representation the application layer. Session layer. It is when two devices, computers, or servers need to speak with one another. And the transport layer deals with the coordination of the data transfer between end devices and hosts. And the network layer, it is where you will find the most of the router functionality that most networking professionals care about. Data link layer provides node-to-node data transfer and also handle error correction from the physical layer. And lastly, the physical layer represents the electrical and physical representation of the system. ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. A two-step process, a request and a response. It starts with the initiator sending a ARP request as broadcast frame to the entire network. The request must be a broadcast because at this point, the initiator does not know the target's MAC address and is therefore unable to send a unicast frame to the target. The node, which is the target of the ARP request, will then send an ARP response back to the original sender. What are encapsulation and decapsulation? Encapsulation. The data moves from upper layer to the lower layer, and each layer includes a bundle of information because of header along with the actual data. It is the process of adding information to the application layer data as it is sent through each model layer. While decapsulation, the data moves from the lower layer to the upper layers, unlike the encapsulation that moves the data from upper layer to the lower layer. And in the decapsulation, each layer unpacks the corresponding headers to obtain the actual data. Now let's try making a simple topology consisting of one router. Its name is as router 1 and two end devices, which is PC, name it PC1, another PC in the name of PC2. And now let's connect it using a crossover copper crossover cable, capacitor net 0. Then do the same at the PC2. And now you can see that there's a core triangle. That means that the network is not up. So try configuring the router 1. Go to the CLI and let's start configuring. Now type enable to go to privilege exec mode and configure terminal to go to the global configuration mode and type host name to change the host name of our device. Let's make it router 1, then enable secret, then the password you want to put for the privilege mode. Then let's configure the password for line console and type line console 0, password Cisco. Type login to enable the password prompting, then exit. Then do the same to have password for virtual line terminal BT line BTY04. Enter password. Let's make it Cisco 2. login to enable the password prompting, then exit to go back to global configuration. And now we're done putting the password. Let's start. Configure the pass Ethernet interfaces. Enter interface or int pass Ethernet /0 int pass Ethernet 0/0 IP address 192.168.1.1.2 and subnet mask at 0. And type description router 1 pass Ethernet 0/0 no shutdown to start the interface. Then exit, configure the Ethernet pass Ethernet 0/1 IP address 192.168.255.255.0. Then description router 1 pass Ethernet 0/1 and no shutdown to start the interfaces. Then exit to go back to global configuration. Then exit to go back to privilege mode. Now enter show running -config. Display the current configuration. To save the configuration to NVRAM, enter copy running config startup running config. Copy -config startup -config. Enter. Now it's okay. The router configuration is now complete. Then let's start configuring PCs. Let's start with PC1 desktop IP configuration. 192.168.1.1 192.168.1.2 subnet mask default gateway 192.168.1.1. There the PC2 192.168.2.2 default subnet mask and change default gateway to 192.168.2 1. And now we are done configuring. Let's try pinging the PC1 to PC2. Go to desktop, command prompt, ping the IP address of PC2, which is 192.168.2.255.5. Let's wait for the reply from PC. Now let's try again. 192.168.2. And now PC2 replies to PC1. Then let's try again from PC2. Ping the IP address of PC1. Ping 192.168.1.2. And now it replies. And now our topology is done.